In this episode, I sit down with Mister Troshin, the master of the 3-round liner. He does these amazing large-scale pieces that are all done with a 3-round liner only. Yes, that's right, a 3 all the way through. Troshin has a distinct style with a very smooth but textured way of shading his pieces. In this episode, he breaks down some of his techniques and shares some tips that could come in handy for any artist. He's based in Orange County, California at Vatican Studios. You can find his work on Instagram. It's at Mister Troshin. My name is Jake Barry, and this is The Fine Line. Mister Troshin.
Hello.
Let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
You have kind of coined this 3-round liner hashtag even. I think you have a hashtag for it, do you?
Yep.
Why 3-round liner?
It all started in 1990 when I came into this world. And then 22 years later, I started tattooing. And I started like all normal people with coil machines and mags and all that bullshit. And it never felt right. I always did like pencil drawings before I started tattooing. And when I tried to learn how to tattoo with mags and all those like different groupings and round shaders, it always felt unnatural to me because I'm so used to just a single pencil. And I tried to get used to it and learn how to do it. And let's say I got influenced by some artists. And if they could do it, it means I could do it. Mm-hmm. So I tried to learn and I didn't go anywhere. And at some point, I started getting tattooed by Alex Sorsa. And he was experimenting a lot with different needles and different techniques. And he was in a big tattoo shop with other artists. And they were just doing a lot of different like crazy techniques and crazy styles. And he showed me that you could actually slow down your machine and use a round liner needle to get a texture on the skin, like in the skin. So I started experimenting with that. And it just felt so comfortable right away, right from the first tattoo. And the first tattoo I did was with a 5-round liner. Mm-hmm. And then I tried like 3, 7, all different ones. And since the first one I tried to do, it just felt so right. So I did pretty much all my tattoos since then. And pretty quickly I just switched to using 3-round liner only for everything. And I started this hashtag, I think in 2014. Under all my tattoos, 3RL only, and then other people started picking it up and using it and doing those tattoos too.
So, I mean, it's got to take you a lot longer to do a tattoo with just a 3-round liner.
That's the funny part. It wasn't much longer. Maybe because of the grainy texture, it was easier for me to control the texture, control the needle and stuff like this. It wasn't like twice longer. With the bigger pieces and on some, let's say, difficult types of skin, it was a little bit longer, a little bit more difficult, and I could save some time by just taking a big mag and make the process a little bit faster. But overall, I feel like if I was using a mag right now, I would probably take similar amount of time for my tattoos. So it's not about the needle, it's just about what you're trying to achieve. I noticed in my first few years of using round liner only that it kind of pushed me to slow down a little bit and concentrate on making my tattoos cleaner. And more accurate, more just mostly cleaner. And once I tried to use mags again after using round liners, I was just like speeding up all the time and the quality just went down. So I got back to round liners and never went back to mags.
Yeah, interesting. So maybe it like kind of forced you to focus on just smaller areas.
Yeah, because when you can't go faster than the needle allows you, you kind of have this maximum speed of going through the skin or through the piece or design or whatever. you start noticing like imperfections in your technique and you want to improve them, which makes you even slower maybe, but still it keeps you clean, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that for me, the biggest thing that helped was when I learned how to slow down.
Yeah.
So like, and slow down, I don't mean technically slow down in time, even though it ends up being longer or whatever, but slowing down my approach in the design.
Yeah.
And like, okay, I'm going to just focus on this area of the tattoo only right now. Don't even worry about anything else or think about the other parts of the tattoo. And once I was able to just dial in a little corner and then move to another corner, not even finish it, but just like make sure I'm happy with what I've got before I move on. That helped me so much. And I mean, I use similar techniques sometimes to that with like even a one-liner, and I'll use a 3 and a 5 or whatever. But same kind of thing, just building up layers and allowing myself to just focus in on that area has really helped me a lot. So I can see what you're saying. But that being said, I do use other groupings. So I'm curious, have you tried recently, or do you think you would ever try other groupings again?
I did. In the last couple of years, I've had a couple of works where I kind of wanted to, or I had to speed up a little bit and finish the piece sooner, or just pack like large areas. And I took like 15 curved Mac or something like that. And it just felt so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And also I noticed that it kind of, maybe it's just me not understanding how to use it right, but I was damaging the skin way more compared to round liner. So it kind of feels like it should be the opposite. Like with a smaller needle, you can just destroy the skin. But maybe I'm just so used to it. So when I take a bigger needle, I just push harder. I want to go faster.
Yeah.
And then I have much more redness, much more like blood from the skin and stuff like this. And it just doesn't feel right at all.
Is there anything lately that you've been working on that you're really excited about, whether it's a tattoo, an ongoing project, or something else entirely?
I have a few pieces in work that I really wanted to do based on my photographs from different places. A couple of back pieces, a couple of sleeves. And also I but I work on a lot of educational stuff lately. I've been pushing myself to make some content and create more videos and get back to YouTube. And I'm working on online course right now, and just a bunch of stuff like this. And other than that, I have a few other cool projects in the works. I'm working on my machine with Bishop Rotary.
Oh, cool.
That should be released hopefully this year. We are working on my needles with Bishop Rotary as well, Da Vinci. Another collaboration with Ghost on the tray for tattoo artists. And possibly a few more projects with different companies.
Let's talk about the educational stuff. So, because I know you've done a lot of teaching over the years, and you've done a handful of seminars, and then just recently, I think you were in Texas. Is that right?
Yeah.
How was that? What was that like?
It was great. It was the first seminar when I did not have to kind of control everything and organize everything. Because guys from Eden did most of the preparation and organization, and they booked all the students, took deposits, and made sure it's all working right. So it was a relief for me for sure, because all the previous seminars I tried to control everything. I contacted every student and did everything pretty much. So
that's cool. You just got to kind of show up and do your thing.
Yeah, basically, just bring my stuff, just set up my station, and then I'm good to go.
And do you see a lot of people come out of those seminars feeling like what's the response from people that take those seminars?
It's great, actually. I haven't had any bad response from anybody. And we've had completely different types of students. Like some people were tattooing for 25 years or longer, but they wanted to try this new technique and learn something new. And I just had a student who came from Germany who never tattooed a real person, who only like just started practicing on silicone. And I think he learned a lot too. And yeah, the feedback was great. I know some artists who opened their shops after taking my seminar, even though my seminar is not about like business side of things, or
It's just about tattooing.
it's just about techniques, the process of designing, taking pictures of the tattoos and stuff like this, but not about like opening the shop. So
Yeah.
it kind of motivated them to go big, basically.
Do you talk about like the mental focus and everything that, like, do you give any sort of advice for that for tattoo artists? Because it's such a it's such a huge part of the job, is being able to like stay focused and concentrated for so long and not kind of lose your mind halfway through. Do you have any sort of, do you guys go through any of that?
Not much. I think I try to concentrate more on making the tattooing process more efficient
Yeah.
and streamlined, how to prepare the design the easiest way, the fastest way, how to make the design so easy to read and understand for you, for yourself, so you can translate it to the skin easily and faster and save some time, save some energy. Yeah, just a bunch of different things like that. I should probably talk about the stuff you were saying too, but it just too much to cover
I
in,
know,
in 2
yeah.
days.
Yeah, I definitely noticed in the first half of my career that I would like get so stressed out halfway through doing a tattoo, and like learning when to take breaks to like keep my mental stamina, learning, you know, what to focus on in the beginning of the beginning of the day to not use up all my energy straight away. Because there's nothing worse than feeling like this person's here for this tattoo, I have to get it done, and it's really late in the day now, and I still probably have another 2 or 3 hours to tattoo.
Yeah. I don't think I have that problem, like in the middle of the session, being stressed about having to finish something or something like that. I feel like I'm a little bit more maybe planning ahead and knowing exactly what I'm going to do during the day, and how much I'm going to cover, how much I'm going to finish, going to be able to finish in a day and stuff like this. So that doesn't really stress me out too much. I have other like ways to stress myself out, but that's not one of them.
What are some of the ways that stress you out?
I would say one of my biggest issues is I'm very sensitive to clients being humans.
Okay.
Like, I mean, moving, breathing, stuff like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and just I feel like there are people who can sit really still or lay down really still, and it's an easy day for me to go like 5-6 hours easily, and I'm not stressed, I'm not tired. And there are people who just need to move every few seconds and do something, and they cannot sit still. And after like 2-3 hours, I'm so tired. I just want to like quit tattooing, leave the country, go somewhere else, and never see people again.
Yeah.
And that's just probably my biggest stressor.
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe because you're tattooing like back pieces and stomachs and stuff like that. But I don't notice that too much with clients. But maybe it's just because I'm tattooing their arms or something.
Some people don't care. I mean, I'm tattooing next to Alex Sorsa, and he doesn't care. Like his clients can move a lot, and yeah, he's not very sensitive to those things.
Yeah.
It's just me.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my problem.
They're not just like a canvas that you can put on an easel.
Yeah, and I understand that we as artists, I mean, we kind of have to deal with that because without people, we wouldn't have this job. It's not just like drawing on a canvas or something like this. So it's a part of the job to interact with a human being who needs to move and breathe and stuff like this.
Yeah.
It's just something that in my 12 years of tattooing, I still cannot get used to, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. That's funny. Speaking of challenges, what can you think of something that would be that you could say has been the biggest challenge in your career?
The biggest challenge in my career. I don't think there has been like one challenge. There's a lot of little things that I had to overcome to become better or to keep moving or stuff like this. I can definitely tell that there was a time in my career after probably like maybe 2 years of tattooing or 3 years of tattooing when I started thinking that I'm actually good. And I was comparing my works to the works of people who made me start tattooing, like all those guys like Franco Vescovi, Jun Cha, Carlos Torres, Eric Marcinezin, all those artists. And I was comparing my works to their works, and I couldn't see a difference.
Yeah.
And I felt like my works are as good as theirs. And that was a huge mistake because I have no idea how that happened. But like another year or two, and I realized that. But that little mistake just stopped me from growing for a couple of years in a row.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how to explain it. It's just, when you look at your work and you feel like you are good.
Yeah. That's a dangerous place to be.
You're fucked.
Yeah. Did you have someone that like spoke some truth?
No, that's the thing. I've never really worked in a tattoo shop.
Yeah.
I've always worked in private studios or in apartments and stuff like this. So I've never really been around other artists like in an open space studio and talking to them and like critiquing each other's work and stuff like this. So I never had somebody just to tell me like honestly like you suck.
Right.
So at some point, I started thinking that I did not suck.
Well, you know what? It's impressive that you were able to figure that out on your own because sometimes I think that's what it takes is for someone to like be honest and give some,
for sure,
honest feedback. And when people don't have that, especially artists, it's very easy to just stay where you are, where you are and to just like not grow. And I also was like that when I was early on. I was just like, I'm fine, especially because I think back in the day, there was such a demand for tattoos, like 10 times what there is now, even though there's still a high demand for it. But back then it was just people were just throwing themselves at tattoo artists, like, please tattoo me, And so I felt like it was very easy for tattoo artists to like sit back and be like, oh, this is easy. I got this shit in the bag, like, no problem. Like, I'm busy, I'm booked out. Like, why do I got to change anything or get better? I'm fine. I'm good the way I am. At least that's what happened to me. And then I had someone in my life that was just like totally honest with me. And they're like, you're not good. Like, you're not what you think you are, or at least you can get a lot better, and then they started showing me like, look at this. Like, and do you think that these are the same, your work and this person's work? And I was like, no, I guess not. But like, they're the best, so like, I'm never going to be like that good, and they're like, why not? So I was lucky enough to have that, honest critique and feedback, from someone. It was my wife, and she was, so I had someone very close to me that was just like honest with me, and it totally changed everything in my tattooing. Like,
you guys are still together.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, we're still together, and she works with me still very closely, and honestly, I wouldn't be where I am now without her. That's the truth. But I saw the value in having honest feedback, because since I actually started considering that, I saw huge growth, and way faster than I ever saw before. So that's impressive that you were able to kind of find that on your own, because that's not easy.
Yeah, I think I agree with what you said about at some point I had so many clients that were like making me feel like I was doing something great and I was unique and I was like the best. And at some point I started like to believe those clients. And well, yeah, if everybody says I'm the best, I must be the best.
Yes, yeah.
And then you actually maybe you just need to see other artists and see how they work and see their work in real life to understand that like there always will be people like that who's gonna like give you compliments and stuff like this, and sometimes it doesn't really mean much.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that? I started noticing when I went to other tattoo studios, I was around other artists, and at that point I met artists that I knew confidently I do better work than them, right? And not in a cocky way, just I was like, oh yeah, I'm a bit ahead of where they're at.
Yeah.
And I watch their clients come in and tell them the exact same thing that my clients tell me. And I'm like, oh, wait, like everyone's being told this. You know what I mean?
So
because
it's not just you who
it's
are
not
the
just
best.
me. Exactly. Yeah. They're telling and I'm like, oh shit. Like it kind of, hit me. I'm like, oh, I guess everyone, but it's true because like, and I think that's nice because people find an artist they like, they're really excited, they show up and they're like, oh, I can't wait to get tattooed by you. You're amazing,
Yeah.
So it's a good thing, but yeah, it's something to take lightly because it's everywhere and it's not just you, and it's like it feels good, but it's only going to get you so far.
And I think it started actually when I started traveling to other countries, because in Russia, where I'm from, it's not like that. You don't get like too many compliments and praise. Yeah. And when I went to like Europe and Canada first and stuff like this, like people there are much more open and much more like comfortable to say nice things to you. So you get much more compliments from people in those countries.
Yeah, like in America and Europe.
In
and
America
stuff.
and Europe, in Canada. In Canada is probably one of the nicest people in the world, Canadians. In Europe, there are like really, really cool people.
Yeah. And what brought you then to California?
A few reasons. I kind of always wanted to move from Russia somewhere, and since I was allowed to watch cinematography and movies, I kind of got obsessed with the idea of moving to the US, just because life on the screen always felt much better than my real life.
Okay, yeah.
And I always hated my real life. So when I first got a chance to travel and come here, I realized that, of course, it's not as like easy and nice and clean like in the movies, but still, it's the life is way better here. And also, I started as a black and gray tattooer right away, and pretty much all my inspiration came from here, from this place, because I feel like the black and gray style came from Southern California.
Yeah.
And like 9 out of 10 my favorite artists were from here, were tattooing here. So it felt right to come here, and then I just loved it here and I stayed.
And how long have you been working in California now?
I've been here with my wife for a little bit over 7 years.
Okay. So you must be seeing a change in the tattoo industry. I know we kind of talked about it a second ago with how it used to be with clients, but you must be seeing a change or have seen a change over the last 7 years with how it was when you got here versus how it is now.
I think the biggest change is how easy and affordable it is to become a tattoo artist now.
Yeah.
Compared to what it was like 10 years ago. I remember when I first came to the US and I needed some supplies, I couldn't even just go to a store and buy something.
No.
I had to have my shop where I was a guest artist to call the store and tell them that I work there, so they actually can sell me stuff, so I could buy needles and stuff like this. And in the last maybe 5-7 years, you can just buy anything on Amazon and stuff like this, and you have so many choices on tattoo equipment, and as it's not a secret anymore, and it's very affordable to everybody, so everybody can become a tattoo artist easily, or
Yeah.
that's what they think.
Yeah, yeah.
And people started seeing good money in this job, and what's the point of like being in college for 10 years to become a doctor to get $100,000, where you can become tattoo artist for a couple $1,000 and make the same money in a couple of months.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. There's definitely more because of that. There's definitely more tattoo artists. I am also seeing that becoming a good tattoo artist is less of a mystery now.
For sure.
You know,
The knowledge has become more
yes.
available.
I think it's also added a lot of like competition and people needing to find a way to stand out in a more saturated market. But it's definitely different now than it was, at least when I started. Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
Um, it's hard to say. I can notice that it's definitely harder to get clients lately, probably because there is like way more tattoo artists around, and a lot of people just don't see the difference between like really good tattooer and everybody else. Um, but overall, I think it's a good thing. Again, because some old school artists feel very like overly protective of the knowledge of tattooing, and I don't agree with that. I think if you want to learn something, you will find out anyway.
Yeah.
It's just making knowledge and making information more available and affordable to people just is going to help them to grow better and do things right and mess up less clients and less tattoos. And I think it's a good thing. And those people who came to be tattoo artists just for money and they don't have like too much passion about creating something, they will probably just leave, or they will stay at the same level. So they won't grow, and the difference will be bigger and bigger between people who really want to become better and everybody else.
I do think that there's going to be tattoo artists that maybe I don't think everyone's going to last, because
Sure.
I think it's become really popular, I feel like it's more popular now to become a tattoo artist than it is to get a tattoo. And I think that it's an exciting job. I think it's like really appealing to people. It's fun. It looks great from the outside, but it's hard. It's a lot of hard work, and I've talked to some other friends of mine about this, where it's hard work, like anything's hard work. But I think that unless there's something else, like you're just so attached to tattooing, you find a way to stand out, you stay true and authentic to what you want to do, while still finding a way to market that. And I don't know. You have to do all those things, and that's not easy. That's hard. You know what I mean? And I think that like people who just maybe saw the excitement, and then they kind of are hit with like, oh shit, if I want to keep this up, like I need to do more. It's gonna like maybe weed out the people that don't feel like they want to do more, which sounds depressing, but I think that's any market, right? Any industry.
Yeah, any business pretty much.
But I mean, you do. Like, I think you have to put in so much more. It's so much more than just tattooing. That's what I think. And I think the people that are kind of stuck on, like you said, maybe like an old school kind of mentality, they don't want to adapt and change. They're going to see everyone else is just going to keep moving on. And there's nowhere to go if you just want to stay here. You're going to have to learn how to be a content creator. You know, you're going to have to learn how to be a brand that people people want to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's crazy? Like, a lot of people think when you see these tattoo artists that put themselves out there, they do a lot of content, they do a lot of things outside of tattooing, that there's like this secret team behind them doing it all. And like everyone I talk to that's doing that stuff, it's just them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, no, I just do all of it. So, and that's really what it takes. But I know you do a lot of video and photo work and stuff like that. So
People ask me how many days a week I work.
mm-hmm.
And I kind of have to clarify that I tattoo, let's say, 4 days a week.
Yeah.
And then the rest 3 days a week I work on continuing.
Yeah, I work every day. Yeah. Is there anything you can think of that would benefit all tattoo artists, no matter what their style is, if they put it into work?
Well, like you said, these days it's probably very important to learn how to create content and do social media, do marketing and stuff like this, because you can do an amazing job and you can create crazy tattoos, but nobody will see them just because social media will not promote your work because it's just a photo and they don't care how good your work is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, these days you really have to learn new ways of making yourself visible to public. And it used to be completely different. It used to be magazines and interviews and things like that. And these days nobody cares about magazines. I don't remember the last time I bought a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but some tattoo artists become famous just by going viral on social networks, by either creating something unique or funny or tattooing a famous person,
mm-hmm.
Or something like that. And you can do as much good work as you do, but never become famous, popular, or even have a job.
Mm-hmm. Get a camera, learn how to use it, put stuff out.
Yeah, or sometimes you don't have to do that. Like, for example, Eden, where I just did the seminar, they have an amazing system where they have a person who take all the pictures, and that person creates all the content and stuff like this. And the whole studio is operated in a way that artists don't have to worry about such things. They don't have to think about marketing too much or booking clients or things like that. They are all they need to do is just to work on their art and improve their art, and the studio does everything else for them.
That's a luxury, though.
Yeah, I just think we need more places like this. We need more studios like this that really help artists, because it's a job. It's a full-time job to create content, to learn how to take pictures and videos of your tattoos, how to promote them, how to do paid ads and stuff like this. Not everybody wants to do it, and not everybody should need to do it, kind of.
Yeah.
Like.
But you definitely have an advantage if you do know how to do it.
Yes and no. You have an advantage because you can do it yourself, but then you don't have life because you spend all your free time on doing this shit.
That's true. Yeah.
And yeah, you eventually just burn out and start hating your job because you kind of learn how to do it, and now you have to do everything.
I've been there for sure. Yeah. I've been burnt out, and it sucked. Like, I was like done. I'm like, I'm not done. I'm not going to tattoo anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it was like
happens every week to me.
Every week. Yeah, it was a lot, you know, and like it took a lot for me to get back to it, and like, of course I did, and it was like, oh yeah, I just needed a break. I went on a 2-week vacation, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm fixed, you know, like problem solved. So if you're thinking about quitting, don't quit. Just go on vacation.
Or quit, because we need more clients.
Or quit, yeah. But yeah, like, how do you avoid burnout? You know, because like keeping this job up long term
Mm-hmm.
seems daunting to a lot of people, myself included. I think about what I'm doing right now. I love what I'm doing, but I'm like, do I want to be doing this in 25, 30 years from now?
Mm-hmm.
And if I am, how do I do it in a way that's like not going to kill me?
Mm-hmm. And I feel like the ways of getting out of this condition are different for everybody. For example, if I go on vacation, I'm going to be bored in one day,
Yeah.
maybe 2 days, depending on the place.
It takes a few days for me.
Yeah, so I need to do something, but I need to do something that kind of fulfills me
Yeah.
and something that I can get like satisfaction and get excited about. So for some people, it's traveling. I definitely miss traveling. I've been working too much for these last few years, and I want to travel more because there were times when me and my wife went to a new country pretty much every month.
Mm-hmm.
And being like around Europe, it's easy. From the US going to like Europe again, it's at least 9 hour flight and stuff like this. So it became a little bit more difficult now. And I would still love to get back to traveling and just see more places and get some inspiration from places. Because I remember my first visits to Italy and other European countries where you see all the architecture, where you see all the art, and you're just so inspired, and you're itching to get back to work and do more stuff and create more stuff. And when you are just sitting at the studio and tattooing every day for months or sometimes years, it's very easy to burn out and to hate your job.
It sounds to me like you need to start playing golf, my friend.
I try it. I'm not good at it, so maybe that's the reason, but it kind of got boring too. The whole process of golfing.
I love golf.
Okay.
And I only got into it a couple of years ago, but that's what saved me from burnout. Because it's something, you're not just taking a break, like you said, and you get bored on vacation or something like that. It's like something to do. And, but I got into that and people told me like, you'll get addicted. And I got addicted. It was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah, I guess the problem is I never got addicted to it.
Yeah. But it's really fun. If you ever want to go, let me know. We'll go out and play.
Yeah, you'll have to teach me.
Yeah, for sure.
For free.
But yeah, that's good advice. I mean, just doing something, taking breaks, traveling, really important. And also like something to kind of tag on to that for me was travel and work. Like I would go do even just like 2 days in a studio somewhere else. And it was refreshing because it's like a new environment. So it kind of feels like the beginning again. It's like something a little bit, you're kind of nervous going into the studio. You don't know where anything is, which can be stressful as well. But then once you kind of find your place there, it's like, oh, this is new and exciting. It's a new environment and I'm in a different place,
Yeah, it used to be like that for me too. These days, I hate working anywhere else just because I invested so much money and time and effort in my working space.
Yeah, you have a pretty nice space up there.
Thank you. I have like the best furniture you can get, the best equipment, best lights and everything, and there is no way to travel with it.
Yeah.
So every time I go to any other studio, as nice as it can be, it always sucks compared to what I have.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Like the biggest thing I notice is my back hurts so much because the chair I'm sitting in is it's just cheap, whatever stool you buy on Amazon. And, here, like I have my chair that really helps my back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know what you mean. There's a few things that I miss when I'm gone. But even just a day or two, I enjoy it. I've been going to New York and like, it's a great way to kind of get inspired again. And yeah, just like seeing other artists and what they're doing. So I always highly encourage people to give that a shot. If you had advice because I know you teach people from all different areas of their career, but if you had advice for people that were just getting started and they can maybe avoid years of suffering if they just heard a bit of advice from you?
Buy my course.
But yeah, there you go.
No, not just that. I mean, the first thing I would concentrate is actually education. It doesn't have to be my educational. If you work in a completely different style, I understand. But these days, it's so easy and affordable to learn from like the best artists in the world, because pretty much everybody has something to show you and to teach you, and this is something that can help you save like years and years of your career. Because I started on my own. I never had an apprenticeship or anything like that, so I was trying to figure out how to tattoo from videos on YouTube. And 12 years ago there were not too many videos on YouTube about this stuff. Nowadays it's way better, way easier. But back then I think I found some DVDs from Franco Viscovi, from Nico Hurtado, and other artists showing their technique, and that was my biggest piece of knowledge I could get. These days it's just so easy, and I think it's one of the most important things just to keep learning, because like I said, if you feel like you are good, then you are stuck. Then you need to maybe go and see what other people do to understand that you are not good. And I'm not good either. I'm learning. There is a lot of stuff I can learn from pretty much any artist, because every artist is unique. Every artist has something different about them and about their style, about their work, their like composition, their I don't know, different solutions to everything and stuff like this. So I would say the first thing is just keep learning and keep finding ways to learn new skills and learn new stuff. The second thing is take care of your body, because especially in the beginning of your career, where it still doesn't hurt to sit or stand for 5-6 hours, that's the best time to start thinking about your body. So work out, do yoga, do cycling, whatever you want, whatever makes you feel good and become stronger, especially for your back, for your neck, for your arms, shoulders, like all that stuff. It's crazy important, and I wish I put more time and effort in these things. Third thing is for beginners is to build your portfolio. I feel like a lot of artists, especially when they can make some money on tattooing, they just take whatever job comes their way, and they just do anything, and they just post it on their Instagram, and they hope that somehow they're gonna get more interesting projects in the future. But that's not how it works. You kind of have to work on getting the work you want, basically. So if, let's say, you started tattooing and you are like me, obsessed with sculpture, and you don't have any clients who want to get a sculptural tattoo from you, and you still have clients who want like lettering and stuff like this, well, do that, because you got to pay bills. But at the same time, if you are really excited about doing sculptures, then maybe offer your designs for free and build your portfolio based on those kind of designs, and just don't post like all the stupid shit. And just post the work you want to do, and only that kind of work, and you will get more and more work that you want. So that's pretty much what I wanted to do from the beginning. I was doing pretty much any tattoos, as long as it's black and gray. But I did not post a lot of tattoos I've done, and I was just posting things that I want to do more. So my portfolio just grew and grew in the way that I wanted. And I still do that now. I just started a couple of back pieces based on my photographs from different cathedrals in Italy, and I just wanted to do those pieces as a back piece, and I offered them with a huge discount compared to what I normally charge. just because I wanted to show that work in my portfolio.
Yeah.
So it's never too late or too early to start doing that. And I feel like if you are not tattooing just for money and you actually want to grow as an artist, that's the best way to build your portfolio.
Yeah, definitely. Well said. I mean, do free tattoos, be intentional about what you post online. That's really important. Absolutely. That's interesting that you shared that you're still even doing that now, like even with that back piece. And I think that's cool. That's cool that you're doing that. And I think it's important for people to know that like people at all levels do that. You know what I mean? Like it's important to share the pieces you want to put out there. 'Cause like that's what you get in return. You know what I mean? If people start seeing like, oh wow, I didn't know you could do something like that. That's what I want, you know?
Yeah.
So that's great. I love those big pieces you put out and that you do, but for me, I have such a huge respect for large scale pieces because I mainly work on small pieces or smaller than that. So when I have to tackle a large scale piece, I have to like rewire my brain and think about how do I approach this in a way that's going to look good from a distance, and heal well as well, like have a long-term look good in the future. You know what I mean? And I think something that you can't do with large scale or something that you can't do in smaller tattoos that you can do in larger tattoos is like really utilize black and negative space. And, or at least in my work, when I work on more kind of zoomed in smaller stuff, I notice myself kind of tattooing the whole thing. You know what I mean? I'm getting all the little details, but I don't know. Does that make sense?
I think it's scalable. I believe what you're talking about is just a contrast in the piece,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things I'm talking about the most in my educational stuff, about how contrast affects the perception and the longevity of the tattoo. And I think it's scalable to any size of the tattoo. You just need to maybe plan it out a little bit more. What I try to do is just to plan the tattoo before tattooing on the design process. Just basically remove all the details I don't want in the skin and just make it as contrasty as possible. So when I look at the reference, there is no extra information for me to copy and to transfer on the skin. So and when I look at the reference like this, sometimes it looks either like very simple or unfinished. But based on my experience in the last few years, that's what actually helps my tattoos with the contrast and the longevity, just because I simplify them so much during the design process. So when I get to tattooing them, there is no way for me to kind of oversaturate them with details because I just remove those details.
Yeah. Yeah. I notice that you utilize negative space a lot in your pieces, which I think is hard for a lot of people because you want to keep
Hard
going.
for me too.
Is
Yeah.
it? Yeah. You have to consciously decide not to do that.
Especially like with big tattoos, sometimes it's even more difficult because you sit very close to the person and you pretty much only look at this little area
Yeah.
of a bigger piece, and you're trying to make this area look as good as possible and put as many details as possible. And then sometimes you do all that stuff and then you step back and look at the whole piece and you understand that you did too much, and for the whole piece it's not beneficial at all. It actually hurts the piece,
Right.
but then it's too late. So that's why I'm trying to learn for myself and teach others how to avoid this situation just by planning ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. I know what you mean, especially with a big piece, because the larger the tattoo, the larger the negative space is.
Yeah.
So you notice more of it.
Yeah, when you see it close, it just looks completely unfinished when you
Yeah.
leave like huge chunks of negative space here and there.
Yeah.
But then just take a break, step back,
Hmm.
take a look at the whole piece, and you'll see how much better it is.
Yeah,
if you do
definitely.
that.
I got a final question for you. What are you working on next? What's next for Mr. Troshin?
Well, like I said, I have a few projects I'm working on with different companies, like machine, needles.
Tell us about the machine.
Yeah, the machine is, I'm not sure how much I can say about it right now. It's a very exciting project for me because I've always been very picky about my machine, and I like the minimalistic approach where I just have one machine on my station and one, maybe two types of needles. And I don't need to think about like switching machines and adjusting them to whatever I want. I just want one thing to do everything I want and do it perfectly. So I've been sponsored by Bishop since 2015. So actually, yeah, 10 years almost. And I've been testing like probably hundreds of prototypes of different machines even before they came to market, and I've been always telling Franco and others things I don't like about the machines, and I hope that I've been helpful with that too. And now I had a chance to finally work on machine that's going to be selling under my name, and that's going to be as I want it to be and work as I want it to be. Um, yeah, it's a great machine. It's based on the Power Wand. It's updated Power Wand, new motor, a little bit new dimensions, new materials. We used a bunch of programming for the motor. A bunch of work has been done on the weight distribution of the machine and stuff like this. And yeah, I think we've been working on that for at least 2 years.
Wow.
And now it's finally coming to like final prototypes, so other artists can should be able to test it soon.
Do you have one upstairs?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to let me try it.
No. Yeah.
I'll give you my honest feedback.
Okay.
That's cool, man. I'm excited to see it and get my hands on that. That's exciting. Cool. Well, stay tuned for that, everybody. That's gonna be a big one.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Cool. Well, thank you for doing this with me, man. I appreciate you being here and
Thanks for having me.
yeah, staying late
It's
and
fun.
everything. Cool. Let's do it again sometime.
Let's do it.
Awesome, man.
Thank
Thanks.
you.